before the painting was recovered in Italy to rejoin artistic works like this Venus de Milo. But then came an announcement that shocked the world of art. Exhibited in the United States in 1927, it was denounced as a copy. Now 3 paintings of the Mona Lisa exist, but experts can't agree which is Leonardo da Vinci's original painting.
Hello fellow museum curators, imagine for a second that you were Napoleon, the third one, and you have a newborn son that needs to be baptized. So what do? The logical thing, you march the army into the Louvre and take the baptistry of St. Louis from display. Don't worry, it's pretty much Bonaparte family tradition to ransack this place. I mean, the first Napoleon went in to take the Mona Lisa for his bedroom, and on the way out he said, you know what, might as well name the whole thing Musée Napoleon. Politics, wars, thievery, this is why artworks from the Louvre are Look, the Louvre is no stranger to ransacking themselves. I know, surprisingly the Egyptians didn't donate 50,000 artifacts. Most of this stuff dates back to the first campaign into Egypt by none other than Napoleon. But of course, Egypt wants their stuff back, and in 2009, the Egyptian Antiquities Department actually got serious. They cut ties with the Louvre, banned any archaeological work by the Louvre in Egypt, and demanded their stolen relics be returned. The Louvre, now under heavy pressure from the Egyptian government, had to take pieces down and send them back to Egypt. They were backed into a corner, and it was time to pay for what they had done. So, out of the 50,000 artifacts, the Louvre, in their infinite generosity, sent back 5 fragments of a fresco. Worst thing is, Egypt was fine with this. The fragments were all they wanted. They couldn't really ask for more. However, last year they again started requesting for more pieces to be returned. Will it happen? Maybe when the Seine is safe to swim in. Okay, political pressure does get pieces taken down, as recently as last year. But what if I told you that you, watching this, could get a piece taken down from the Louvre? Legally. During World War II, around 100,000 objects were looted by the Germans, most of it stolen from Jewish families. However, the Germans couldn't really steal from the Louvre. Almost the entire museum was emptied out before Paris got occupied, leaving Germany with a museum with as much worth as the Croatian Museum of Naive Art. Bro, at least hang the pieces, come on. The Germans have nothing, so they decide to fill the Louvre with all that art they stole. Yep, that's who you think it is. But when the Allies win and take Paris back, the Germans have to leave the art behind, and the Louvre realizes, oh, we have a whole new free collection. Alas, all good things must come to an end. Those greedy victims start asking for their art back, and the MNR initiative begins. Musée National Récupération is the label given to all that looted art. About 60,000 MNR artworks were given back to their owners, nearly 13,000 were sold, and the rest were divided between museums. The Louvre has around 1,700 in the collection. Here's the kicker, if you can prove your family has the right to one of these artworks, you get it back. And new owners are still being discovered. 2 paintings were returned just 2 months ago. So call your grandma and win her over by being just a little more racist this Christmas. Hey, if I were the Louvre, I wouldn't want these artworks either. What if they're haunted? But before we get to the alleged ghosts in the Louvre, why not learn to read artworks better with the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. I've been taking this engagement with art class by Maria Zanzal. It's perfect if you want to go beyond the surface level while observing art and dive deeper into the intricacies of analyzing a painting. This class and thousands more are available on Skillshare, the largest online learning platform with classes made by experts on illustration, filmmaking, design, pretty much anything you can imagine. There are also learning paths, special made collections of classes that help you master a specific skill. A lot of you have told me that you'd like to get into drawing, and this could be the perfect first step in your journey. I myself have used Skillshare to get better at 3D modeling, and with summer here, it's a great opportunity to spend some of your extra free time learning a new skill or improving a side hustle. And you can do all of that completely for free. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. You have nothing to lose, so I suggest you don't miss out on this and click that link. Thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and let's return to the Louvre. There are way too many ghost stories about the Louvre, though most of them can be boiled down to a weird guy showing up in a costume and then becoming an urban legend. Like years ago, there was this Reddit AMA with a Louvre worker who said there was this goofy guy showing up every day doing magic tricks called the Magician. He'd always be wearing green and had a beard. Of course, this sort of thing is absolutely ridiculous. I was wearing red. The most well-known ghost is Belphegor, le fantôme du Louvre, this black Egyptian mummy that roams the corridors at night, a curse upon the museum. The scariest part? Louvre wages. His spooky face. Belphegor is so famous that he has a TV series and 2 movies. Not to brag, but I even make a guest appearance. Now, sorry to ruin the magic, but Belphegor never existed. There is no such mummy, and the whole thing comes from a 1927 novel where Belphegor turns out to be a thief in a mask pretending to be a ghost. His motivation? Getting paid 5k a year. Okay, I'm stopping this bit before I get banned. Another ultra famous fake ghost is Jean Leconcheur, better known as the Little Red Man. His whole lore is too long for this video, so I'll keep it brief. This was a henchman of the Queen, but the Queen had him killed because he knew too much about the royals. Now he haunts every single royal of France. Even our guy Napoleon is said to have seen him multiple times. They say the Red Man kept telling the royals to raise the retirement age to 64, but none listened. Today, he's at the Jardin des Tuileries, the garden in front of the Louvre where the old royal palace used to be, always wearing his iconic red suit. Oh, damn, I should have worn blue. If you wanted to see every artwork in the Louvre, it would take you 100 days of straight viewing. Really? Come on, we've seen the Louvre. It's big, but it's not 100 days big. What artworks are these people talking about? Well, do you ever wonder where an artwork goes when it gets swapped out, taken down for restoration, or to be traded with another institution? It goes right into the gigantic hidden museum beneath the Louvre, Les Réserves. This storage area is rumored to hold 75% of the entire collection. There are 3 more Louvres beneath the Louvre. Well, to be honest, it probably looks more like a Swiss Freeport. Recently, the reserves took down and moved 250,000 artworks to a storage facility in Lieven due to flooding risks. And this isn't random art either. A reporter speaks of a Bernini wrapped resting on a shelf. This is the art that we will never see. For these works, being taken down and getting sent to Lieven is the worst possible outcome. Now, I want to tell you a story. When I was in the 7th grade, our teacher was telling us about Dante's Inferno. He began speaking about the circles of hell, each worse than the last, 9 in total. However, before he could finish, a kid stood up and asked, "Professor, what is the 10th circle?" The professor paused, then smiled and said, "Hollow Knight Coliseum highest difficulty, but also the Louvre Navigation."
Notice how his mouth never moves. Almost.
In the Afghanistan CIA black site at Bagram Air Base, codenamed the Salt Pit, the prison guards play a f***ed up joke on the inmates. They give them an empty map of the Louvre and tell them, "We'll release you if you can draw the path from the Delacroix room to the Cour Marly." Nobody has left. You're not imagining things. The Louvre is terribly designed. What you're experiencing is the amalgamation of around 50 architects and hundreds of curators across centuries of design. One moment it's expensive furniture, the other it's sculptures. The ceiling can go from Baroque to Cy Twombly. This caused many legal battles, by the way. Sure, you can try to use some landmarks. Personally, I orient myself according to the femboy. It's like yellow boots at Everest, you have to pass them. Also, it's not like the workers there are dying to help. One time I was in the Richelieu wing and I asked an attendant how I could get to the Mona Lisa. It was so far that the guy just laughed at me. And then, get this, he replied in English. If you speak perfect French with a Frenchman and they reply in English, simply reply back to them again in French, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were an immigrant." This instantly fries the French brain chip, leaving them paralyzed and unable to answer. Wait, what was the video about? This might come as a shock, but taking an artwork from a museum is quite easy. Most museum thefts can be described as a guy walking up to a canvas, taking it and walking out. No big plan, no preparation. Hell, usually museum thieves are complete amateurs. The problem is the security. Here's my working theory. In the 12th century, the Knights of the Order of St. Lazarus were founded. These were blind or about to be blind lepers. The order merged with the French branch in 1608. They must have struck a deal with the Louvre so that all future security guards would be blind leper hires. Because how the f do you see this guy in a fake wheelchair and think that he's a grandmother? Even worse, did the security actually think the disabled grandma in a wheelchair was going to eat a whole cake by herself in the Louvre? It makes no sense. In 2024, cans of soup were thrown. How does that happen? Oh, a whole can of soup? Come right in, madam. It's because of this garbage security team that the Louvre has been robbed time and time again. We all know about the time the Mona Lisa got stolen. Honestly, boring motivation. The thief was an Italian who wanted to take the Mona Lisa back to his country because he thought Napoleon had stolen it. Now the Mona Lisa was actually bought by the King of France, but the thief didn't make some crazy assumption. I mean, even today the painting across from the Mona Lisa is an Italian painting taken by Napoleon. A more interesting motivation comes from a Bolivian guy who threw a rock at the Mona Lisa back in 1956. Why did he do it?
I had a stone in my pocket, and suddenly, the idea to throw it came to mind.
Makes perfect sense to me. Sadly, most Louvre heists are quite boring, but there was that one time when a Japanese underground organization stole Corot paintings. They got caught, but the one taken from the Louvre is still missing. However, my favorite heist from the Louvre has to be the one done for Picasso. See, Picasso's famous poet friend, Guillaume Apollinaire, has a friend called Honoré, a man who, from time to time, enjoys taking little souvenirs directly from the Louvre's collection. Through Apollinaire, Honoré steals and sells 2 Iberian sculptures to Picasso. Of course, Picasso knew they were stolen, we just aren't sure if he told him to steal them or not. The sculptures play a crucial role in Picasso's Cubist style development, but right when he gets comfortable, the Mona Lisa gets stolen by our Italian guy, who, turns out, was friends with Apollinaire. Apollinaire speaks of Picasso to the police, and suddenly both of them are suspects for having stolen the Mona Lisa. And ironically, the cops are half right. They have stolen something. So, in fear of getting caught, they meet up on a bridge to throw the sculptures into the Seine River. Picasso thankfully backs out at the last moment, and Apollinaire eventually returns the sculptures. They both ended up in court, but through some miracle, the case got dropped. Look, the Louvre might have bad security, bad navigation, maybe a couple ghosts and lunatics, a hidden reserve and stolen art, but when I'm in the Louvre, walking through the gigantic halls, I can't help but think, I want to paint. This is a special place, and no matter how many artworks get taken down, I hope one day you'll see this monstrosity for what it really is. Beautiful. Alright, the outro. If you are still watching, why not subscribe? You lose nothing. Thanks again for tuning into Polyblank, and I'll see you later.